Welcome to another round of Sports Reviews. Tonight I'm reviewing Sporting Kansas City 1, Club León 6 in the quarterfinals of the 2021 Leagues Cup. Yes, you got a surprise video today. You get a little bit of coverage for the Leagues Cup, at least one game and hopefully the final. Because, CCL will be played the second round week of that. And maybe I'll be able to do a Tuesday, maybe. And then, because I think it's Wednesday, Thursday for the CCL that week. So maybe, again, one of the semifinals. And then the final, I think CL's playing. But back to the point. And this will be more of a rant. Not really, but more of a befuddlement, you know? I sort of like Kansas City. I respect them. Got a good friend who is a Kansas City fan, so I root for them for that reason. As a second team, as a team, if stuff goes south for TFC, I know I'm not going anywhere with this, but let's get into the goals. In the 16th minute, Santiago Colombato, amazing run, great goal, 0-1 León. 26th minute, Omar Fernandez, ball off the defender, taps it in to make it 0-2. Pulse Camp's being hung out to dry. Hell, the whole team is hanging themselves out to dry. Omar Fernandez, later on in the half with a banger. 44th minute, 3-0 from the top of the box. Amazing goal. Cam Duke pulls one back in the 61st minute. Homegrown. Good goal. I thought it was pretty good, but that's all they would get. But a good play by Cam Duke there. 1-3. Angel Mena, a minute later, flagged offside at first, but they check it on VAR. They give the goal. He's onside. He slots it past Polskamp, 1-4. Jean Meneses in the 72nd minute, 1-5. Then Victor Davila with a banger of his own to end the scoring. 78th minute, 1-6. Stats are as follows, and then I'll get into this. 11 shots to 11, 4 shots on target to 8, 42% possession to 58% possession, 335 passes to 474 passes, 84% pass accuracy to 87% pass accuracy, 11 fouls to 11, 0 yellows to 0, 0 red cards to 0, 1 offside to 3, 5 corners to 2. Club León dominated this game. Kansas City, after the injury to Jalen Lindsey, they fell apart. The defense, softer than Swiss cheese, holes all over, all right? Horrible. And Polskamp, you got to feel for him because I didn't think, even though he let in 6 goals, that he had that bad of a game. He tried. He worked. He tried to keep them in it. It's not his fault. If it's anybody's fault, it's the defense. It was the defense, the center backs. After Jalen Lindsey got knocked out with injury. It's their fault. It's not Polskamp's. He was good. He wasn't great, but in the situation, he sort of made it better. It could have been worse. It's not his fault that it was this bad. It could have been worse. So with that said, I wouldn't blame Polskamp. And the offense looked okay as time went on. They looked okay. Cam Duke, again, pretty good. Shallowy looked good for a half, but they pulled him. Garikinda looked pretty good, but León dominated that game. They said, we're not coming here to lose. We're not coming here to blow the lead. We gonna keep pushing. That's different. Now, you could say, what you're about to say later on in this video is totally going to undercut what you're saying here, but I have to say it. But here's what I'm going to say. Ariel Holan's Club León, they make their own luck. They make their own chances, and they take those chances. Ambriz's León took what they were given. And there's the difference. There's a reason they were bottle jobs in Confederation competition. You're not going to be given the opportunities you were given in Liga MX or Copa MX by teams in CONCACAF. Mexican teams are sharper than ever in CONCACAF. MLS teams buckle down to win that competition. Now you could say nobody cares about Leagues Cups. That also makes a difference. And they had draws and then a loss. 2 draws and a loss or something like that. They haven't really started amazing in the Apertura under Olan. They're okay. You can see where they're going, but they're okay. They're still pedestrian, like they were at the end of last year's Clausura. By the end of it, when they made that run, pedestrian overall. This was shades of the old León, or shades of dominant León, but they made their own luck. Unlike under Ambriz, they took what they got. They made their own luck, and there's the difference there. With that said, Kansas City fans, if I were you, because I've said all I could say about this match, as in León dominated, Kansas City rolled over, so on and so forth. Let me get into it. Kansas City fans, if I were you, you should have some shame. You should have some shame, because here's where it gets to, oh, you're undercutting what you just said. Here's where it gets to it. Toronto FC in the Champions League played TFC2 just like you played Swope Park. We had Chris Armas as our manager in a 2-leg series, and we beat León over 2 legs. You have them at a one-off at home, and they run your show at home with your manager being a tactical genius, Peter Vermes. Levels. I don't care. Levels. You got your show ran. You got your ass kicked to León at home in a one-off when we beat them over 2 legs with Armas as our manager. And yeah, we basically played our youth teams, our B teams, TFC2 and Swope Park, or SKC2, but it wasn't SKC2, it was like graduates of Swope Park. That's why I make the Swope Park reference. But y'all, and I guess you could say the TFC team that played against León was a graduates of TFC2, pretty much, with some older players, kind of like this. But we won over 2 legs with Chris Armas as our manager. You lost with Peter Vermes in a one-off. I don't care if your team is banged up. Toronto showed that they could do it like you wanted to do it. And hell, you had more talent, main talent in your starting 11 than Toronto did in either of those 2 games. But no, León could actually hit the broadside of a barn this time, you say. Ryan, they could actually hit the broadside of a barn. Okay, sure, I don't care. Have some shame. Have some shame. Armas led TFC, not even that. Armas led TFC2, beat León over 2 legs in the Champions League, and you couldn't even beat them at home. With Vermes as a tactical genius leading Swope Park. Have some shame. Have some shame. That's what I would feel like if I were you. Have some shame. Now, León, amazing win. If I were you, this is how I'd feel. Amazing win. You're going places with Olan. And honestly, I'm afraid of y'all in the Champions League now. If Toronto makes it, which honestly, they should win the Canadian Championship. If they don't do anything else, if they sort of make a small run, but they don't make the playoffs, the least they'll do is win the Canadian Championship under Perez and make next year's Champions League. I will say that for sure. And that's all I'm expecting at least. The realist in me is that's what I'm expecting. Make a run, but finish 2 places behind the playoffs and win the Canadian Championship. That's what I'm expecting as a realist. As an optimist, I think they could make the run and win the Canadian Championship, then make it all the way to the Cup and win it. And I'm sticking with the optimist side, but as a realist, that's my bottom floor, all right? So back to the point. León scares me. León scares me now because they make their own luck. They're not just going to take their chances and then miss the broadside of a barn 500 times. No, they're scary. And Toronto's got a bad defense, and they still probably will, especially if they do make that run. If they just make the Champions League, our luck, they do make the run. They do go all the way. They still do make the Champions League, but they keep the defense and everything intact because, oh yeah, we went all the way. It's fine. Just because we have a good offense doesn't mean that defense still sucks. But that would scare me. All right? The way I have them ranked going into next year's Champions League, the Mexican teams. Cruz Azul, León, smaller gap, but still a gap. Big gap. Santos, bigger gap. UNAM, Pumas. There's still smaller teams in the Champions League besides Cruz Azul. But as the things are shaping up right now, it's not as easy as you think. But with that said, León under Olan does scare me. Unlike Ambris's León. It does. It does. That was dominant. That was dominance personified. I'm a little bit iffy. I still think Toronto could beat them, especially if Soteldo and Pozuelo show out. But that defense, our defense against that León team, yeah, they're scoring at least 3 in that tie, home and away. Not each game, but overall 3 goals. Better be at Estadio León El Glorioso, not BMO. Oh, they're not going to be missing the broadside of a barn again. And I know they want revenge, so yeah, that actually kind of scares me now. I know it's a good couple of months away. September, October, November, December, January, February, 6 months. Almost, well, half a year from now. But we'll see how things shape up. But León's scaring me now. That's how I would feel if I were you. Well, no, I would feel happy if I were you, but as me, I'm scared. But they're scaring me, so that reflects well on you. You know what I'm saying? Okay, there we go. So if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell all your friends. Tomorrow, I got a single game to cover, but live and RSR. Monterrey versus Cruz Azul in the Champions League. Leg 1. Live watch along and RSR because it's just one game tomorrow. Then, on Thursday, I have Foz versus Forge, or Forge versus Foz, because the home leg, even though it's at Cuscatlán, is Forge's. The first leg is Forge's home leg. Forge versus Foz, live, then RSR for America versus Philadelphia in the Champions League. And that's what we got this week. And then Toronto plays on Saturday, so Friday off, but then Saturday, you know. So, with that said, you know that. And also, I have 2 new patrons to thank. So thank you to Daniel Young and Troy Lewellen for subscribing to my Patreon. We're growing as it goes. We're getting there. I'm proud. I'm happy. I'm amazed. I'm thankful. Thank you for joining. And let's keep on going. If you want to be amazing like they are, go check out my Patreon. $5, $10, or $20 a month. Anything is appreciated. Help support the channel. You'll be awesome if you do. Anything is appreciated besides Patreon. Just subscribing to the channel or commenting, likes, getting this in the algorithm. That would be great too. But if you feel giving and want to be amazing, go subscribe to my Patreon. With that said, I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. See you later.